My best concert was Def Leppard in the mid to late 80s there. And the reason it was the best concert was it was an outdoor concert in the Indianapolis State Fair. And it was pouring down rain, just raining like hell. And so one of the roadies come out and said, hey, it's raining too hard. We can't have the concert until, it dies down. But in the meantime, we're going to have a wet t-shirt contest. So the top 5 girls get to come backstage and meet the band. And I shit you not. Like, this is when we needed cameras, because I looked around. So there were titties everywhere. Like, it wasn't a wet t-shirt contest. The girls all take their shirt off. They were all on everybody's shoulders, and we were grabbing. I mean, we were muddy as hell, and we didn't even care. But it was a great time.
Welcome to the 280s Dudes podcast. It's Billy May, your hat dude wearing rocker, along with Jeff the Goldstein Goldstein. And we got a special guest this week. We've got welcome to the podcast. We got Ratt White, the rock and roll realtor. He's got 40,000 followers on TikTok, 20,000 on IG. He's a YouTuber, and he has successfully used rock and roll to define his business. He's in the real estate business. Okay. I met Brad recently as we did a transaction together. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a residential real estate lender. Jeff is a commercial real estate lender. And it's funny, Brad, because Jeff and I, we've tried to meld our business along with this podcast and kind of move the two together. And here we are, we have you on, and you've successfully done that.
We never even talk about it, honestly.
I know, we don't even talk about our business. And here we are, here's this dude, he moves down here from another part of the country. He's in northern Florida.
Where are you from, Brad, originally?
The Midwest, Indiana and Illinois.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I like to say we're a couple of Generation X dudes live the dream in South Florida. You're actually living the dream, and you're in North Florida. So you're in North Florida. So Brad, tell us a little bit about yourself.
One thing, I feel like he's really living the dream, because I've a lot of his, I feel like I'm still in New York and Florida, because I'm not living the dream like that. So.
Well, it's the 6th borough down here. So Brad, tell us what brought you to Florida. How did you meld the rock and roll realtor? You know what I mean? And just tell us about yourself first.
Yeah, obviously, I appreciate you having me on. And I had to go put a hat on because I saw the podcast. I'm like, oh man, I got to have a hat. So that,
he makes me wear a hat. He gets mad when I don't wear my hat.
Now my hat says Tom fucking Petty on it, so I don't know. If I don't know if you can even say that on your podcast, but
yeah, you just did.
Best American solo rock guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So originally from the Midwest, and in finance and all that, and my wife and I decided to move down here about 6 years ago, and music is always the thing for me. I mean, everything drives me is music, and I'd rather listen to music and go to concerts than watch TV and do a lot of things. But for me, it was just incorporating the music in as much as possible with real estate. Just like you mentioned, the Gen Xers.
Yeah.
People relate. I'll post a video with a walkthrough, and I'll have some ZZ Top song or something playing, and they're like, oh man, great song. So you try to incorporate that because it's my passion. It's what I like.
Yeah. That's smart. I mean, that's like it's like an identity a little bit,
Well, now, so let me ask you, Brad. Now, before you got into real estate, I know you're probably like us, a couple of generations dudes, always music, et cetera, but in your prior career, did you have any sort of social media type stuff where you were mixing music with business?
Not really. When I was in Illinois, I had a podcast that I did. It was mainly music, but I lived on a lake and I built my own boat and all these things. So I called it Tastes Like Ship, SHIP. That was the name of my podcast, and it was really just a lot of random stuff. But I talked music, most of the time. And
gotcha.
And I actually have a music TikTok that's separate from my business one, and I've just always kept that because that's the thing that excites me.
Now, listen. We're in the same boat, so to speak, if I can use that. But we're in the same boat. Every podcast we do, Brad, we always have a specific topic, and our topic is usually like, hey, it's best new wave band or best singer, whatever. We're not doing like a Mount Rushmore, like a top concert or whatever. But today we want to talk about, and you brought this up, Brad. Hey, let's talk about what about the best concert experience that you've had, or So it'd be cool if this is kind of a nice discussion, the three of us, just couple of 3 dudes hanging out talking about concert experiences and maybe highlight one or two concerts or experience, or, and my concerts too is like, it's funny. I was thinking about it, and I always have my monologue, so to speak. And I came up with, trying to define the best concert is like trying to define the best orgasm, actually. I mean, because, a great concert is supposed to be like a just orgasmic, euphoric experience. I mean, I can't name one concert I went to where I like was totally disappointed. It just, to me, live music, it brings
I
out.
have some that I've been totally
Yeah,
disappointed.
I don't know, man. I've been disappointed. I've been let
Yeah.
down, but I've never been like, that totally sucked.
Yeah.
And dude, to choose the best concert, I don't know, it's very, very difficult for me. But I got
It's
some
like
good
choosing the
stories.
best of anything. It's so hard. Every time I go to a restaurant, I go, that was the best one. And then the next week I go somewhere else, like, that's the best one. So, I mean, that's, I think,
Yeah.
human nature. So,
For me, I want to start just real quick. I want like my first concert. So my first concert, my dad took me, actually. I was 12 years old. He took me to go see the Beach Boys. My dad was a huge Beach Boys fan. It was at the Sunrise Musical Theater down here in the Fort Lauderdale area. And I went.
the one west, right?
Yeah,
Where it's
Commercial
like, I
Boulevard.
think it's a church now. So,
yeah, and it was a great time. And there was March 19th, 1982. Coincidentally, that same weekend, where there was supposed to be a big concert at the Orange Bowl that Sunday. It was Foreigner, Ozzy, and UFO. Well, on March 19th, the day I went to the Beach Boys concert, Randy Rhoads died in the plane crash. So Ozzy had to cancel. They brought in Pat Travers' band to fill Ozzy's spot. And at that concert, they brought in a fourth act, some guy named Brian Adams. So my parents would never let me go see Ozzy. But for some reason, my dad took me to the Beach Boys that Friday night. The next day, I guess my parents talked, whatever. My brother was going to go see Ozzy, or going to see Foreigner. And Sunday morning, I got up and they're like, "Hey, if you want to go to the concert with your brother, go ahead." And I scalped the ticket. You know what I mean? So that was my first concert kind of weekend experience. But I got a number of best concert experiences. And it looks like Jeff fell off the line, but now he's back. All right.
sorry about that.
That's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay. So,
It's the Beach Boys. Sorry.
yeah, even though I did talk about Foreigner and my Ozzy concert experience, but so that was my first kind of concert experience. What triggered this podcast was, Brad, you and I talking a couple weeks back, and you're like, "Hey, man, why don't we do like a best concert experience or something?" You kind of told me about one of the concert experiences that you had, right?
Yeah, I absolutely. And you're right. And it was different in the 80s. The concerts were, you kind of talked about the best orgasm, but it was the buildup, because you buy the tickets and you're excited, but you remember like who you took and that shirt that you wore, and the shitty seats that you had, but you had to fight your way. It may took you till the end of the concert to get up to the front. But all the whole experiences when you're talking about just 80s concerts, which are completely different now.
Yeah.
The smell of the arena and the concert T-shirts.
Yeah. The crappy T-shirts.
The crappy
that were
T-shirts, the
expensive.
lighters,
Yeah.
no cameras.
There was pot everywhere. There was pot smoke everywhere.
You didn't have to bring your own. You just sit there and just lived, and
You
you
just
were
smelled.
out.
You just inhaled. Even if you're outdoors, you got high, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
Why do I want a hot dog?
So funny.
I got the munchies.
So, Mike, but Bill and I were talking about this. My best concert was Def Leppard in the mid to late 80s there. And the reason it was the best concert was it was an outdoor concert in Indianapolis State Fair. And it was pouring down rain, just raining like hell. And so one of the roadies come out and said, "Hey, it's raining too hard. We can't have the concert until it dies down. But in the meantime, we're going to have a wet T-shirt contest. So the top 5 girls get to come backstage and meet the band."
No shit.
Wow.
Shit you not. Like, this is when we needed cameras, because I looked around. Yeah, so there were titties everywhere. Like, it wasn't a wet T-shirt contest. The girls all take their shirt off. They were all on everybody's shoulders, and we were grabbing. I mean, we were muddy as hell, and we didn't even care. But it was a great time. You remember those experiences? That was when the lasers were big. Had just kind of started. But man, you can't go to a concert like that anymore.
Oh, not today.
No.
It's like corporate rock now. There's so many rules, and it's not happening anymore. But yeah, those days were.
No.
It was a free for all.
Oh yeah. Sound like Woodstock, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more fun.
Insane.
I think when that Woodstock, when they had that '94 Woodstock,
with all
the
with the
anniversary.
mudslides, and it was
Yeah,
insane. Like the difference between Peace and Love, the first one, and then this one was a little bit more hectic.
Yeah,
and it was funny.
Durst. Remember Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit? That was a mess.
Limp Bizkit, yeah.
That was that second Woodstock, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
that was the second Woodstock. You know,
I
it's
think
funny.
I think that the Chili Peppers were there, and
Yeah. They caught
Yeah,
things on
Steve Winwood
fire.
and Traffic played. There was a lot of great bands that
a
concert.
lot of great
There really
bands.
was.
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
a good. That was huge. So
And you know, it's funny. Jeff and I, we've talked about this. We talked about how that kind of early to mid '90s was kind of the top, the epiphany of I don't know if that's epiphany's the right word, but the top of rock, and it kind of like went downhill from them. That's kind of funny. I that you bring that up, Brad. '94 is when that that Woodstock concert.
Yeah.
That was kind of like it. After that, it kind of fell off the face of the earth. Coincidentally, I mean, here we were celebrating, you know,
music changed forever.
25 years of rock at that time, and then the music just changed forever. But there's still concerts today. We go to concerts and we spend this ridiculous amount of money on these concerts today. And I think people are just trying to identify back with that our youth. I don't know. That's my opinion. But getting back to our 80s best concert or a memorable concert discussion. So Brad, let me ask you, did Def Leppard ever play, or you guys are just too busy hanging out with all these women with no tops on?
Do not remember. I'm pretty sure they came
Was
out.
there an opening band or no opening band?
Man, yeah, there was, but I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
You know, I remember my first time when I broke my concert virginity was REO Speedwagon 1983, and 38 Special opened up for it. Great concert.
Oh, really?
That's Bill's
Jacksonville
one of
band.
his favorite bands, 38.
Jacksonville,
love
38 Special. Yeah, me too.
I was,
Yeah,
you know, it's
saw them
funny,
2
really,
years
not to
ago.
get
Getting back to concerts. So, Jeff, I'll let you go next. I mean, do you have a best concert story? Do you got a memorable concert story?
I think, you know, my most memorable, you know, we were talking about it. I was going to go another way, but you know what? It was Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jeff Beck. I lived outside New York City, and probably about 20 minutes from Madison Square Garden. My parents dropped me and my friend Mike Lomolino off. We saw Stevie a couple of times. We had this thing called the Pier in Manhattan. Now it's completely different. It was just, the Pier was disgusting. It was just a couple of seats, and you go and you get, you know, your paper tickets. So Stevie's getting bigger now. So the first time we saw Stevie, it was Greg Allman got out of rehab and Stevie Ray Vaughan played. And then we're like, oh, this is the Mecca. Jeff Beck. Remember that guitar album? Not the guitar. It was it was the auto album. It was like he was becoming a mechanic. It was a mechanic album for Jeff Beck.
Okay, sure.
And then I think I forgot what Stevie Ray album, but it was one of his bigger albums. We had no tickets and we started scalping. And we've been pretty good about scalping. We've been around. So, well, I guess we weren't around. So we gave the guy like I don't know, $50, $100 for 2 tickets. Guy went off and ran out with our money. We had nothing left.
Wow.
Nothing left. No money.
So you didn't get a chance to see him?
No, we sat out there. We
And listen,
it was like what we got burned so badly. And I remember we're like, we can't give up. We can't give up. We were
Right.
trying to find even stubs to walk in. We were
Right.
begging for quarters, anything. Finally, we had to call our parents, and my mother dropped us off, and then his father was a cop in New York City, and he was tough. And we had to tell him that we lost
got
our money.
scammed.
He was like, guys, just
What are you gonna do?
He gave us shit in the car. So
That
But
sucks.
What
it was
year was that?
terrible. What?
What year was that?
It had to been like probably like I think we were in high school still. It must have been like 80. I
86,
don't think
87
we even
maybe?
had cars like 80. It had to have been like 85 or maybe
Right.
86
Yeah. So your most memorable concert, unfortunately, is one that you didn't
that I never
attend.
ever got to see. And I always wanted to see Jeff Beck. It's just
Yeah, well, at least you saw Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, I didn't see either one.
I saw him like 3 more times after that, so I got
Yeah.
lucky. So and then he
Oh,
passed
man.
away.
You know, it's funny to talk about your best concert experience. First of all, I'm wearing my hat. This is this Journey cap. I bought this like 1983. I used to wear this at concerts back when I was in
No
high
kidding.
school. Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
looks,
I used to have all these
it
pins
looks
on.
brand new. You know, that's
Yeah,
really
I
good.
love it.
It's a little beat up. I used to have all these pins on it and stuff. But it's so hard to define the best. Every concert to me, there's so many memorable experiences. I was thinking about this morning, and then I hop in my car to come here to work, and I put on the radio, and a U2 song was on. I saw U2 1985 at Hollywood Sportatorium, and it was funny. The best shows I've seen were always
The
last minute.
Joshua.
No. This was Unforgettable Fire.
Okay.
And and they were just getting big, and In the Name of Love had just come out, and they're just getting big, and they booked 2 shows, and the first show that night was sold out, and I went to go work. I was bagging groceries at Publix at high school. My buddy Rich and I worked the next morning, and I go, hey man, let's go to the U2 concert tonight. They played last night, and I heard it was great. So we didn't have any tickets. We just drove down. There was pouring rain, and back then this Hollywood Sportatorium is in the middle of the freaking Everglades. There's nothing around, and we get in there, we scalp tickets for $10 each. And it was an amazing show, man. And they were so good. I'll never forget Bono. They were so good that the whole crowd, about 18,000 people, never sat down. And when they played In the Name of Love, I remember all the maids, people who cleaned the arena, they were in the aisles. They're all African-American women. They're in the aisles, and they had their mops up in the air, and they're going, In the Name of Love. And
it's a Martin Luther King song. I remember the videos.
It was electric, man. I remember, the hairs, what's left of my hair, and the back of my neck are still standing up today. That was an amazing show. And I'm going through my list real quick here. I saw the Eagles, the Hell Freezes Over tour in 1994 in Miami.
I saw that at Giant Stadium. That was a good, very good tour.
That was amazing. And when that show came out, I remember when it came out, dude, tickets were $85. And people were like, $85?
A lot.
And it was a lot of money then.
Hey, it was hell when hell freezes over.
Hell freezes over.
They never thought that would happen. So
yeah, and a buddy of mine, same thing. We scalped tickets the day before, drove down there, and the best song they played, first of all, they opened up with Hotel California, was amazing. But it had rained earlier in the day, and the best song they played was The Moon Was Rising Behind the Stage, and the saxophone comes out, and they played the Glenn Frey song, You Belong to the City. And I remember Miami Vice had just, ended about 4 or 5 years previously. Dude, that place was rocking. The Orange Bowl was like a rust bucket. You could feel the stadium shaking. It was moving, dude. I really see that probably the Eagles are probably the best band I've ever seen on that tour.
Really?
Yeah. I think the best, musically.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, they're solid. Look at all those musicians with Joe Walsh and Glenn Frey and Henley and that's pretty good.
But they're the best band I've ever seen. I don't know if they're the best concert I've ever seen, but those best band. I got other ones too, other stories. But I'm just thinking so Jeff, so your most memorable one is the one you didn't go to. So what was the one, or, name me one that you went to that was great?
You know what? I've seen, it's so crazy. I've seen so many bands. I think for me, the pinnacle was seeing Jimmy Page and Robert Plant concert. It was I think it was in the 90s. It was when they got back together. It was the No Quarter tour, and I'll tell you, that was insane. Just it was almost like Zeppelin, but not Zeppelin.
Right,
and had a blast. So that's very cool. I guess my 2 great stories.
Very cool, very cool. Ratt, how about you? Is there a band that you saw that you're like, hey man, this is the best band or the best concert? Aside from all the boobies running around it showed Def Leppard show.
Yeah, you know what? It's all definitely the experiences, and sometimes it's the but AC/DC is always the one that I don't care as many times as I've seen them and seen Angus's ass. I love. I watched some of the old videos of concerts, when they were in Brazil and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh man, look at the crowd! That's where I would want to be.
It seems like the South American crowds, like Argentina and Brazil, are just they love rock and heavy metal. Those crowds seem crazy.
They do.
Even the Guns N' Roses shows they just recently did there, they're just so passionate.
Have you, hey Brad? So how many times have you seen ACD?
Probably 5 times. I think the last was 2017, whatever, that Rock or Bust album, I think.
Okay.
The first time was, with a really cute girl. And that's the nice thing about when you think about concerts, you remember where you were and who you were with and how you felt. But I was with a girl who's now a big shot lawyer in LA. Man, I definitely should have stuck with her. My wife won't hear this, but her family were real religious, and we had to sneak her out and go to this AC/DC concert. And it was so loud, our ears rang for 3 days. But that was the Blow Up Your video, I think. So the stage opened up, and then a rocket ship comes out.
I love that album. That's a good album too.
It's a great album. And then they've got the rocket has
that's
the door of the rocket.
Man.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Yeah, great tune.
The rocket, there's this door that's like rice paper, and you can just see Angus in there, and then he kicks it in and jumps out, and the whole time you're screaming. And those are the ones that, it's not even now, it's, the technology's better, the sound's better, but the experience was much better back then.
Oh, without
Yeah,
a
you know,
doubt. Yeah,
you you
it
you
was so
you bring up a
impactful.
Yeah.
you bring up a good point, and you said that like about the theatrics and laser shows, stuff like that, and that was definitely a part of it because especially too back then it was so new. You know what I mean? And the sound wasn't always great at those shows, but I always enjoyed the theatrics too. And there's a few bands I saw that really had cool, theatrics, great sound, everything. One of them I had mentioned on a previous podcast. I saw ZZ Top on the Afterburner tour, and their stage was like it was all covered with like a big sheet, and there was this big sphinx like right behind the drum set. And all of a sudden the lights went down and this sheet got sucked up this nose of the sphinx.
Wow.
And they opened up with Got Me Under Pressure and they had the spinning guitars. And it was just so badass. That was a really memorable one for me. But I think the coolest opening, I always like openings are so cool because you're so pumped for that opening song. My brother used to be like, hey, what they open up with? But you said you saw Def Leppard. I saw Def Leppard 1987 with Tesla at the Hollywood Sportatorium. And it's in that they have a movie. It's called Def Leppard in the Round. 1988 it came out, and the concert like there were seats all around. You know what I mean? And the whole stage is covered by like a curtain. And they come out and they open up that song Stage Fright, and they're just jamming, and the curtain's up. And all of a sudden the curtain drops and they're flying, running around, just jamming guitar. Rick Allen's back there with his freaking one arm just flying around. And that was like the coolest show. And the video was great. The theatrics were great. And yeah, I mean, I've seen so many shows. I mean, Jesus. And one of the biggest theatrics I saw, actually, I saw Madonna. I saw front row Madonna at the Orange Bowl in 1987.
That
The
was probably
concert was
pretty good.
it was amazing. The concert was broadcast on MTV at the time. And I was front row. My high school girlfriend got the tickets and everything. And she was amazing. And she had the big theatrics. That's 1987. So it was back then. But there's so many shows. And like you said, Brad, there's so many things that made it memorable, that was impactful. It's like everything. It's the sound, who are you with, the anticipation of it. You know what I mean? Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah. The shows are so impactful for, if you're a concert person, you love music. I mean, you can't, those shows are so memorable. To this day, I can't wait to go to a show. Like we were talking about Deep Purple today. I'm like, let's go. Okay, I get so excited. Triumph we saw a couple of weeks ago. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the same like when you were young. Like I still remember waiting online for tickets or going to we used to have like Ticketron or I forgot they were bought out by
Yeah.
Ticketmaster, and we'd have to get the the regular seats, and
Yeah, you gotta wait. Remember, remember waiting in line.
we would go to
we
we had like
Ticketmaster.
it was called Macy's. I think it's Macy's now, but it was called Bamberger's in New York, and we would have to go to the Bamberger's to go buy our tickets, and
right.
it was such a hassle, and it was like a lot of mystique to everything back then. And now you could just go online and get a ticket. It's just completely different. He was mentioning like the shirts back then. Even the concert shirts you'd buy were crappy. At least today you spend $50, they're pretty decent.
Well, for $50, they better.
Yeah.
I used to have a concert shirt. I used to buy a concert shirt for every concert I went to.
Me too. Same.
And over the years, I don't know what happened. Then
You're
a few
a
years ago,
concert dork. That's why.
I was, and then probably a couple of years, 2-3 years ago, my daughter's over for dinner, and I went to a box and I had a few old concert shirts left, and I showed it to them. I mean, I had a Motley Crue one, they didn't like it. I had a Bryan Adams one, they didn't like it. I had a Bon Jovi one with the baseball jersey, Bon Jovi one. My daughter's like, "Oh, I'll take that." I go, "Okay, well, here it's yours." So I go on eBay like a few days later, and the things were freaking $300, man.
Wow.
I know, for a vintage concert shirt.
Well, we were like at the music that we love. I keep saying it's like that one time, like it was like 3 or 4 decades, and that's it. It's like the classical part, like Beethoven period. We're not gonna look at the gap between like great music. I don't think it'll ever happen again.
Yeah.
And even like when you had that opening act that you've never heard before, that just blows it out of the water too. Like you mentioned Bon Jovi, so I went and saw Ratt in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, love
we
Ratt.
followed Ratt around, anyway, they were like, "Hey, who's the opening act?" And we're like, "I don't know, some band." Some lady's like, "Oh, it's Bo Jovi or something like that." And we're like, "Oh, what the hell?" So, but Bon Jovi comes out, and man, he takes his shirt off. He's got an American flag. He's dancing around. He blew Ratt out of the water.
What? Really?
Yeah.
He blew him out of the water.
I went to that tour, Brad. I went to the same thing. Bon Jovi opened up for Ratt, and quite frankly, more people were there for. This was in Jersey. They were more, they were there more for Bon Jovi.
Of course.
And
really?
I'm a Ratt.
For Ratt?
I'm a Ratt diehard. I love Ratt.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I'm a big Ratt. Like that whole '80s scene with Ratt was great. So
Amazing. They're so underrated too. My favorite album is that Invasion of Privacy.
me too. Me too.
Yeah.
That girl on the front. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
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 You brought up a good point,
You're
though,
in
Brad.
love. That's what You're in Love, and
Oh, You're in Love's a great song.
great
man.
song.
Great song. But opening band, you're right, dude. Like, remember, you'd be like, you so jacked, and you'd be like, okay, who's opening? And
It was
remember-
always good that you get like a two-bander, you
Yeah.
you find that one band on the rise. So
Yeah,
I saw
I remember-
I saw Black Crowes open up for ZZ Top in Rhode Island, and it was same thing. Like, we just heard one of the Black Crowes songs, and everybody was so excited. They're like, we can't wait to see the Crowes, and it was great.
Well, there was a lot of bands too. Remember, like back then, the promoters didn't know where these bands took off. I remember, like in '83, Billy Squier was touring, and Def Leppard just came out with Pyromania, and then they opened up for Billy Squier for like 2 weeks, and the promoters like, okay, we need to go. Def Leppard need to go tour on their own. You know what I mean? Because they were just taking off. A couple years earlier, I didn't go to the concert. I was too young. My brother, we were big Ozzy fans, and Ozzy was coming out here in 1981. And my brother came home from school one day, and he's like, I was like 11. And he's like, hey, man, I'm going to go see Ozzy, and this band's called Def Leppard. The drummer's like 16 years old. They got their album called High and Dry, and we listened to it, and we're like blown away. And he went, and he said, because Def Leppard at the time was way better than Ozzy at the time. And I was like,
Sure. Well, Ozzy was always, in those days, he was pretty messed up. So
he was always wasted.
yeah.
But you're right, Brad. The opening band was always a big one. I think the best opening band I ever saw was probably Tesla when they opened up for Def Leppard on that show that I was talking about previously. Tesla was one of those bands, like, I kind of heard of them. I didn't really know much about them. I was just in the Navy. I was home on leave, and I went and saw them. Like, wow, these guys, I didn't know anything about them, but they were really, really good. And they're still touring. They were just here not too long ago.
Yeah.
I would say they're probably the best opening band I've ever seen.
Tesla's amazing.
Although I've seen some of these other dude, I saw like in 1983, I saw Journey at the Miami Baseball Stadium with Aerosmith, Sammy Hagar, and Bryan Adams opening up. You know what I mean? But that was different. That was one of those big outdoor concert things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the ones where they kind of like, you went to go see one feature band and opening band was opening, and you're kind of pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, you get blown away with that. I saw the Stones, Steel Wheels, '89, whatever that was. Living Color opened up for them.
Yeah.
And
I saw that one too. That was another good one. I saw that in Philly.
Yeah, I was like, who's this band? And then the dude's up there doing this thing. He's thrashing,
right?
And he fell off the stage. But
we saw Living. That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was an awesome show.
Living Color's good. And then me and Bill saw them open up for Extreme.
Extreme, like, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They were great. They were great, but Extreme was better.
But yeah, that Rolling Stone, and that's when Living Color was huge with the Rolling Stones. Like that big song came out, and they were like, and Vern Reed, I think Vern Reed, the guitars, he was insane.
Oh man.
But yeah,
dude, that dude rips, man. That dude rips. Good stuff, man. I mean, we went through a lot of stuff here. I mean, not no best of or no greatest hits list, but I mean, Brad, you're a special guest today, and is another concert story.
Well, he could come back anytime since he likes Ratt. I mean, that's very unique.
I was thinking, when you were talking about the concert, I remember the most memorable Ratt was, remember the song "You Should Know by Now," and everybody was
you should know by now.
Everybody was like, they just played that just with the drummer only, and they probably played that for 5 minutes, and everybody is just screaming it. And that's when you get that tingle in your whole body. You're like, wow, this is so cool. I want to be a rock star.
Easy.
Yeah.
Sign me up any day. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Even for like a year, or a day. So.
It gives you like a sense of euphoria. You know what I mean? Like, I know it. I don't know if we try to relive that. You know, I mean, that's why we pay all this money.
That's life anyway. It's like it's experiences and music and food and fun, and we all work and we all work hard, but it's
as the older you get, you're
everything.
The older you get, and the concerts aren't as much fun. But if you had like Mark Knopfler in a little outdoor place, just Mark Knopfler just playing, like, that's what I want to hear now, because let's just go. Let's just sit. Let's just sit and listen, because we know we're not going to be fighting our way to get up to the front and all that. But as you get older, you mature a little bit. But I'm glad we had those experiences.
There's no doubt about it.
Agree, 100%. I'd
All
ki-
right.
I'd kill to see Mark Knopfler by himself. I saw him with the Dire Straits.
Yeah, I never saw him. I'd love to
That's
see
for
him.
our second. I'll get the second concert
right.
series. I'll tell you my
All
Dire
right.
Straits story.
All right. All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, Brad, thanks again for coming on our podcast. Just great to just share some stories. And
Yeah, Brad, nice to
dude, man,
meet you.
listen,
Yeah.
you're living the dream. Listen, give us an infomercial about yourself and what you do and everything like that, and how you're using rock and roll, because you're the rock and roll realtor on Instagram, right?
Yes, I am the rock and roll realtor on Instagram. And yeah, I do. It's real estate, but also we got to add something that we like, and music and memories. Music always brings back those memories. And so that's what I try to incorporate with real estate, is something that I'm passionate about is music, and I think a lot of people can relate, especially the Gen Xers, the late 50s people.
Yep.
We can definitely we can relate with that, but I just love it. Like, I can't put enough music in my videos.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Super cool.
You got
Very
me
cool. All
even,
right.
and I'm loving it more now. I'm thinking about it now. I'm going. It's like
All right.
It's amazing.
All right. Well, thanks again, gentlemen. Hats up to us all. Have a great weekend. Click like, click subscribe. Brad, I'll see you again in about 20 minutes. Haha.
Sounds good.
All right. All right,
Take
guys.
care.
Talk to you soon. Have a
Thanks,
good
guys.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. All right. Bye-bye.